are live. I'm Savage Squishy86, and we are back with the part 3 of Chris Redfield's playthrough on the Resident Evil 1 remake. So, here we go. When we last left off, we had just killed off the giant snake, the yawn, and effectively got our first of the many keys we're going to need to get to the lab. So, without further ado, we're just going to get right into the other area that we unlocked with the helmet key before we used it one last time to take down the snake. So, we are essentially on our way to the next stage of our area, and we're going to take a few things with us. Most importantly, will probably be the fuel canteen, as well as a fully loaded shotgun, just to be safe. But I'm going to actually leave the shotgun behind, because we are pretty much going to be just dealing with a number of zombies in the next area. So the preliminary of hunters that we might encounter otherwise is kind of minimal at best. But we're going to head right out of the storage room and then immediately head upstairs. I've also been tinkering a little bit with the controls, and I find that the analog stick is a little bit responsive, if not a little jarring, with directional function. But essentially, we basically can move without holding the square button, but I still like the feel of the tank controls. I think it's something that really kind of forces you to get used to using the D-pad again. I mean, these days, too many people use the analog stick, and not too many use the D-pad. So, after we get inside the room where we get the second floor map, we're going to head into this other room, which we've unlocked. Essentially, this is pretty much a ballroom of a sort, but as you can see, it is going to be actually a trap as well. This giant statue is pivotal because it's going to keep us alive, because the second we go inside this room, the walls begin to close in on us and crush us to death. So pretty much as it shows, this wall is going to be stopped by the statue that essentially is going to keep those walls from crushing us. But what we need to do is get that statue in place where this one is. But it's a bit on the other side. But we can't get to it because the walls are closing in. So what we're going to need to do is reset the walls by pressing this switch here. This is in turn going to trigger the wall to come back or out in this capacity. So we're going to run around here using the analog stick to get that extra speed that we need and start pushing this over. We just need to push it on the pedestal. Once we have pushed it to the pedestal, the walls will stop. The statue will make its way into the alcove that is originally intended for, and then we'll open up this door here. On the left, you'll find a dagger, and then turn around and drop down into the hole that would be reminiscent of the director's cut hole created by the Yawn boss fight in this room. And down here, we will find also the second Doom book, the last book, Volume 1. This will essentially give us the Eagle Medal we need to access the courtyard fountain elevator. So, over here, you'll find a gravestone, but on the gravestone will be the last entry for George Trevor's diary. November 29th, 1967. I can't get out. I have tried every possible way to escape, but only to be faced with the reality that I'm trapped. I've been everywhere. The laboratory with the large glass tubes filled with formaldehyde, and those dark, wet, eerie caves. What can I do? At first, I didn't want to believe my eyes, but that familiar high-heeled shoe in the corridor, it was like a reflex. One name came to mind. Jessica. I don't want to believe they share the same fate as me. No, I can't give up hope. I have to hope they're alive. November 30th. I haven't had anything to eat or drink for the past few days. I feel like I'm going crazy. Why is this happening to me? Why do I have to die like this? I was too obsessed with designing this ghastly mansion. I should have known better. November 31st. It was dark. It was a dark and damp underground tunnel and another dead end, but even in the darkness, something caught my eye. Carefully, I lit the last match I had to see what it was. A grave, but deeply engraved into the stone was my name, George Trevor. At that instant, it all became clear to me. Those bastards knew from the beginning that I'd die here, and I fell right into their trap. But it's too late now. I'm losing it, and everything is becoming so far away. Jessica, Lisa, forgive me. Because of my ego, I got both of you involved in this whole damn conspiracy. Forgive me. May God justify my death in exchange for your safety. There's a switch. Will you press it? Yep. And that will alleviate this small tombstone and reveal a ladder going down. Take the ladder. Down here, we will encounter a number of threats, mainly the spiders here. We're not going to really engage with them if we can help it, so go ahead and make our way around. Grab the map. Hello, dear. Welcome. Grab the map to the Mansion's Basement 1, and you'll see that this essentially gives you the access to the map area here. Over here, inside these cardboard boxes, is not what's important. What is important is the shotgun shells sitting on the floor directly at your feet. Inside the cardboard box lies the discarded shell of a molting spider. So essentially, this is essentially where probably one of those spiders started. Go ahead and run around the spider here and just run through. Don't even worry about wasting your shots. Spiders are relatively easy to avoid if you need to. Entering this hallway here, we will have a blue herb and a red herb. Ahead of us will be some zombies. Drop them. Bang. Now, obviously, we are going to have a blue herb here. We're not going to be able to take the red herb with us, so we'll have to come back for that. But over here on the floor, we will find a dagger. We'll grab that. What are we having for lunch, Dove? I had pizza. Over here, around this corner here, we will have a circuit to the power supply for the elevator. The main fuse has blown out. Switch over. Yes. Power supply to the elevator is now working again. So we're going to make our way back now. Ah. Very nice. Then in here, we will find a door leading back out and around. So go ahead and unlock the door. This was basically locked into the side. This will take us back to the kitchen and the basement level area where we were originally. So. And that will take care of that zombie, which we will in turn burn. I don't know what I'm having for dinner. I'll have to think of something. I ate my pizza for lunch, so. Now, upon entering this hallway, we will probably encounter a hunter. If that is the case, do not spaz. We can handle this. So head down the hallway, and we will immediately have the hunter there. And that will take care of the hunter. Reload your weapon, and then continue. The door will no longer be present here, so this complete corridor is open to us now, without the presence of the door. I'm not sure if they smashed through it, or if or what happened. I think they smashed through it, though. That's just my theory. Now head into here, and we'll see if we have any kerosene left that we can take for our person in this room. Not a single drop of kerosene remains, so we've exhausted all the kerosene. I think you can get like roughly 2 refills of kerosene from these containers, and then maybe 1 kerosene left. Obviously, I've already collected those particular elements of kerosene, so that pretty much rules them out. Nevertheless, we have what we need, at least in that respect. We got a little kerosene left. We can use it with whatever we probably may have. So go ahead and drop off the eagle metal. And then we're going to, well, first drop off the shotgun shells. Now drop off the eagle metal and drop off the blue herb. My brain had a fart there. Bear with me. And we will continue. We gotta make our way back, and we're gonna get that red herb before that zombie reanimates as a crimson head. I don't know if it will happen really fast. I doubt it. It's usually a good couple of minutes before that happens. But for the sake of safety and concern, because we're not going to be going back through that area again, we're going to do that. So let's double back. Let's run back there. I don't want to waste time. And we're going to head back through this passage here. We will have another zombie in this corridor that has since either made his way here or gotten up. We obviously remember that there was a zombie here crawling on the floor. So essentially that probably could be the one that we had or not. I'm not sure. Or it could be the one that was crumpled in the back area by the elevator. Go ahead and grab the red herb. This zombie has not begun to manifest as a crimson head yet. His fingers have not turned into claws. That's usually a good indicator. Is when you see just simple hands, great. If you start seeing little naily bits like he needs a manicure, then usually that's a good indicator. You might want to make yourself scarce. So there we go. Got rid of that zombie. Sounds pretty evident. So I would say I would buy into that. Oh, I got burned a little bit. But that zombie will be burned, and that will no longer be a problem. Yeah, there's the zombie that will probably be getting up. I'm not sure. I thought maybe he would have gotten up by now, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen. You can burn the body just to be safe, because some of these zombies in harder difficulties will inevitably get up at some point. So take a precautionary measure in that respect for that detail. So. Then we will open up with the elevator descent. And now we will find ourselves on the 2nd floor of the mansion. Ignore the zombie that just shambles over and around us. We'll go ahead and mix these herbs. Go ahead and use the stun grenade in the event we end up needing it, because we don't have any more items for burning the bodies, so we may want to use the grenade to sort of mitigate the zombies' application there. So hopefully this one will get killed. If not, switch over to your dagger, and we'll deal with this one as well. Get off of me. Now, that door there will be broken. We are obviously not going to be able to go through that one. And that zombie will be down. So we have 2 green herb, well, 1 green and red herb, and then obviously that. So we're going to make our way out now through this passage. Definitely want to get some resources dropped off because we're pretty much at that point where we got 2 green herbs. So we'll come back to that office, that one room we have not examined yet, which is important because that's what we're going to find next. Our next item of relevancy. So heading back to the kitchen room dining hall on the dining hall's second floor, then take a right and enter the adjacent hall corridor and head back to the storage room below. Then pretty much go from there. So here we have a blue herb. We're going to take that out, put the other one away, and we're going to mix this herb together. And then we're going to make our way into the other area. Don't really have any kerosene. Kind of really wish I had some because I really don't want to linger. But I don't think I'll need to really worry too much about it. The zombie there will be pretty straightforward. He won't be getting up anytime soon. So, and if we're fast, we won't even be around long enough for him to even be a threat to us. So, head on through here. And this door will take us back into the existing hallway here. Run around the zombie here. Ignore him. He's not going to be a problem. And then head through this door, which we just unlocked, and made our way back through the dining room. Now I'm going to equip our pistol. We're just going to unequip it. So it's pretty straightforward there. You can obviously see the doorknob is broken. It's obviously not going to open to us. The zombie is obviously still down. It's going to be a couple of minutes before he reanimates as a crimson head. So we got some time. Head inside this room here and get what you need, and let's get out. Over here on the right, immediately grab all the shotgun shells that are here. Thing of beauty. We're going to be getting pretty intimate with the shotgun here for a little while because we're going to be saving a little bit of time on our handgun. Over here, you'll also find a stun grenade on the floor, so grab that as well. And then the crown jewel of what we really want is this battery. This will enable us to get the elevator in the courtyard working so that we can lower the levee, stop the water flow, and then gain access to the underground area cave system. Now, head back, and we're going to retreat back to the storage room east wing, not the west wing. Head back to the storage room on the east wing so that we can gain access to the back door and head right for the courtyard. Yeah, it's still very it's a little jarring to use the analog stick because you can't really control your trajectory and movement with a fixed camera very well. I mean, especially if the camera angle shifts a little bit. You see that little twitch there because I have to really quickly change my control stick specifically for that very reasoning. Now, obviously, we have this hunter here. So we're going to hopefully get through this asshole without him being a problem, which is pretty easy because he ultimately always shuffles over in the right, not to the left. So once we've done that, we are back on the first floor storage room. You want to take a quick look at your map just to check everything. Obviously, the only thing we need is that item in that chamber leading to the back of the building, but that is essentially, we cannot get that at present. Here... Huh. That's interesting. What did I leave down there? I'll have to go back there and check that later. I'm not going to do it now. We will have to probably deal with the zombie there. That will be a crimson head. But there's something in that chamber, that tunnel down there, that I forgot. That is going to mean we're going to have to go back to the basement, and navigate through that area. Something is down there and I missed it. I don't know if it was a herb. I got the herbs, but there's something else down there that I missed. It's probably gonna be a magazine with a handgun. So, but it doesn't matter. We'll be back for that soon enough. What we are gonna do though is we're gonna put our handgun away. We're gonna put our handgun ammo away, and we're gonna take our shotgun and all of these gloriously nice shotgun shells we have established. And I am looking forward to it. Grab the square crank and grab the assault shotgun. And for the argument's sake of safety, grab one healing item, because we're going to go pay a visit to that one little kerosene container that's on the balcony with those dogs. And we're going to get those, and we're going to get the last of that. We got this kerosene here. We're not going to take it from the kerosene there because we may need it later on. So let's go back outside, and we're going to go through the first floor east wing corridor. We're going to deal with all of these zombies that are blocking our path. We got shitloads of shotgun shells. But let's have a little fun. Let's zombie slay for a little bit. Let's hunter slay if we get those too. Let's see what we get. So right away, as soon as you enter this room, this hallway, you'll find some hunters in our way. Go ahead. Get off of me, you fucker. Kick him away, and then he'll be swinging like crazy, so back up. If you can. If not... Looks like the zombies are gone. It's just hunters. That's okay. I'll take it. Bring your best, boys. The door here has been destroyed as well. So, evidently the zombies that were originally here seem to have either been laid to waste or escaped the window, and the hunters made their appearance here. The dogs will be here. Go ahead and take them down now. And that will take care of the dogs. Outside here, the kerosene will have not a single drop remains. Wow, okay, so we didn't even have to come out here. Wow, that's disappointing. What a dumbass I was. Well, it was worth a shot. So we're going to head back through. We've pretty much wiped this floor in this room, so we don't really need to worry about that. What a shame. So we're going to drop off the kerosene. I thought we would actually be smart and get some kerosene for that job, but it doesn't seem like we have any to get there. So what we will do is get the kerosene from this container, and then I think the only kerosene we have left is probably going to be in one of the other areas. I'm not sure if the underground area has some or what. I'm not sure, but it doesn't matter. We're not going to need it. Where we're going, there's going to be no zombies. Save the ones that will be in the other areas coming up in the follow-up area. So we're going to take the shotgun. We're going to take the shotgun ammo, and we're going to head out the way to the backyard, the back of the mansion, to the courtyard. So make your way back to the courtyard area with the leading to the back to the courtyard. I'm so surprised. I didn't think I grabbed it, the kerosene from that. Outside there will be no threats here, so you don't need to worry about it. But I wanted to go quiet because I didn't know if there would be a hunter out here lying in wait. So once we've pretty much made our way back to this area, we're going to basically do the same thing we did before with the approach going about getting the courtyard accessible, but ultimately with the intent to basically get the cave entrance accessible using the square crank and the battery. Just like the OG version, you're going to do the exact same thing here. Get across the area that has been drained of water. Use the battery to gain access to the elevator. Then make your way back up to the elevator, and then close the levee so we can refill this place with water. Avoid the snakes if you can. It can be kind of tricky, but luckily for me, I got lucky on both counts. It's kind of, they're like little copperheads. It's the impression I get, like little cottonmouths or copperheads. So there's our way in. Get off of me, dog. I'm not having you crap. Come on, Pooch. Bring it. Oh, hell, you brought it. Get back. Get back. So go ahead and put the battery inside the elevator. That will get power reestablished to the elevator now, and we can head up. So once we've gotten back up here, we're going to head back to the crank area and get the crank going. And that will effectively drop the levee, no longer letting the water run off the side, filling the pond here, blocking this path, but opening up the other path to the cave system below. So use the square crank, drop the levee. Sound of the waterfall seems to have stopped. So now we can head back to the elevator and make our way down. So here we are, pretty much here. Now we will make our way down this little tunnel access to this ladder and descend the ladder to the lower level of the cave system in question. I think the caves have to be my most favorite place in the entire game, with the exception of the lab, because it is incredibly... The atmosphere of the caves, the mansion, and the labs are just unbelievably ominous. I mean, it literally looks and feels like a cave system. I mean, the only thing that I think you could do to make this even more imposing would be to, like, put torches in this bitch. But that's just me. Don't quote me on that. We're going to go ahead and drop off the crank. There's also an ink ribbon here. We're going to go ahead and grab that. We'll use that a little bit later. But we're not going to use it now. We're going to keep that separate because we're going to use it basically with the tandems of availability to the other ink ribbons. Ink ribbons, I don't want to keep them always together because I like to keep them, one here, and then I can just, I kind of wish you could split them up for individual saves. That's what I would like to do. Then you could just, like, save, move on, save, then move on. You don't have to go to the inventory box, put your ink ribbons in there, then move on, because you got to go through that nonsense. So essentially, once you enter through this door, you're gonna have two paths here. Now, the number one path to your left is gonna be the way you want to go, but we're gonna take a different. We're gonna take the right here for a second because up here at this boulder will be a large boulder blocking the way. Now, hopefully, I'm hoping there is some shotgun shells here. It doesn't look like there is, so it doesn't look like we'll get that. So, yeah, right is obviously a no-go. Instead, take the path down to the left and head through this door. Now, entering this hall, you will have this giant platformed hole in the ground, which essentially is an elevator leading down to the lower level. However, in order to get it working, we need to get power established to it. So, head over here and check the main control. Open it up, and inside you will find it is basically a simple shaft key. And you know, there's something very interesting I noticed on it too. What does that look like to you in the center? I mean, we can't zoom in. Oh, can we? Oh, we can zoom in. Alright, let me rotate it a bit. You see that? A little bit there? That looks like an Aztec symbol. You know, I never thought about it this much, but you know what? This was essentially something that I had in a theory. Okay? I don't want to give those spoilers away for Resident Evil 5, but essentially, part of the virus that sort of started all this, I will say it originally originated in Africa. I'm not entirely sure if this could be wrong. It looks like an Aztec symbol, but who knows? I may be actually wrong. It may be Aztec, it may be Incan, it could be African, I don't know. But it is an intricate detail I noticed in the past with the other later installments of the game. So, but I have a strong feeling that part of it could probably be the first indicating clue that this was essentially from another Mesoamerican continent. So I never really brought it up because I thought, nah, they're not taking me seriously. But I don't know. I mean, that's just something I noticed, and I've continued to really kind of ponder. You know, maybe there would be one that would be good to take us to that particular setup. But it's, again, just a theory, and theories don't exactly go very far. So we're going to head down this hall here, and in the water puddle here, we're going to find a magazine, which we will grab. Head on through the door. And we're going to head through this corridor. Hard to believe this place has been built down here for almost 30 years and nobody noticed anything in any capacity. Not satellite imaging, not work crews, nothing.
Enrico,
and you'll find Enrico.
Go any closer, Chris? What happened? Double crosser. Enrico, wait. Enrico!
Umbrella.
Enrico! Double crosser.
So once you've pretty much uncovered Enrico, and these get killed, it's a shame you don't take his gun. He would have been handy to unload his gun. Take the handgun. And take the magazine, at least. But right away, you'll get the hex crank from his body, and then we will be beset by hunters as soon as we turn the corner. So just be ready for a fight. Back up. And that will... He'll drop dead. It's kind of ironic because in the previous game animation, the hunter never really would drop dead from a dagger stabbing. essentially you would have to shoot him again. But in this game, it seems in this version on the PlayStation 4, the two shotgun blasts is enough to kill him, but the dagger is just enough oomph to it to like put him down for the count. So pretty handy. But now we got stun grenades, so we need to be careful because the minute we put one of these things in them, we're going to have to run away because they will still be a dangerous threat. But if we can hold out and resist their pursuit, evade their pursuit because they will chase after us to slice us up with their claws, the grenade will kill them outright. Bang. Over here, we'll find another magazine on the opposite side of this platform. So we'll grab that. I wonder if Enrico dropped these when he was getting away. I have no doubt he got attacked by hunters because he's got that big... If you notice in the animation, he's got a big gash in his leg, like he got cut. Not a bite, because he would have turned by now. But here we have hunters. Drop them. And that will take care of the hunters. Check your gun. We got one shell left in the gun. I'm not going to reload it yet. But we'll head through. And we'll drop off a lot of these resources. Because we're not really going to need them quite just yet. So head back to the storage unit back here. Let's go ahead and use this crank first. Can't use it yet. We got to get in the right position. There it is. Now we're in the right position. So use the hex crank, and it will rotate this room like a little turntable. All right, so we got that. Now what we need to do is get the shaft dropped off. We're going to take the green herb, and we're going to take the mixed herb because we're going to need that for the black tiger boss fight. Let's go ahead and save our game. We'll do that too. Now, I think what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to push through this stream and get to the very end of the game. We're going to try to go for that with this this particular finish. So we may be in it for the long haul. So if you got to do anything, get your drinks, get your snacks, whatever, do the business and do it now, because you may not get another chance. Because we're going to be sticking it out for the foreseeable finish of this with this particular stream with this last part. We may do the same thing with Jill. Chris and Jill essentially will basically both get that measure. 3 parts each for the standard game. And then maybe we'll see how far I get with the real survivor game, which is about as hard as it gets. So we'll do that too. Here we have a flamethrower, which we will take, which we will use to deal with the black tiger. But head down here, and we're gonna unequip our shotgun, and just trigger the boulder. So run, 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 and then just head to the left and duck inside. So once we get down here, inside here, we will find shotgun shells. Grab those. And I think that's it. Is that all that we had down here? Okay, that looks like that's it. Take a look at your map just to be sure. Alright, looks like we're good. So get your flamethrower equipped, and let's get ready to barbecue some spider. I gotta say, this thing looks badass. It's a shame it burns through ammo so fast, though. So, as soon as we enter the room, the tiger will descend from its web and immediately attack. Ugh. Look at that big fucker. He's all covered in tumors, too. You can see them on his ass end. Let's circle him. He's got a small spider as a support partner. And that will do it for that little enemy. Now, we can essentially deal with the spider, which I think we will. And that will take care of the spider there. Now, you'll see there's a number of spider webs here over this area, which we can use. Now, we essentially don't really need to hold on to it, but we have another spider that will come out here on the right as well, so we'll go ahead and... And that will take care of the spiders. And the ammo for this is completely exhausted, so we don't even need to hold on to it no more. It's a shame, because I really wish we could keep it, because I really do like having the flamethrower, but yeah, it is just... it's a shame. It really is. So, get your shotgun out, reload it. Go ahead and put the flamethrower down, unlock the door. And then check your map real quick. Obviously, there's a knife back in that room we could pick up if we needed it, but we don't need it. So we're not going to really worry too much about it. But over here, in the back here, we will have a map of the Courtyard B1. And we're going to have some blue herbs. So we're going to grab one of these. Matter of fact, we'll pay a visit back and we'll drop off some of them. We obviously didn't use any of these ribbons, these herbs. So we'll make our way back and drop off a few of them. Now, we will obviously run into hunters, so be wary about that. That's awesome, love. I love it. So cool. And yummy. Alright, so now we're going to head on through, and we'll have a hunter to our left. Maybe one, maybe two. I'm not sure. We're going to find out here in a second. So obviously we're hurt here, but that's okay, because we got a green herb we could use. We're still going to drop off the blue herb, and we're still going to drop off our other mixed herb, and we're going to drop off our handgun. We've used it, so that's essentially why I brought that along. I wanted to use up the ammo inside it. But we will need our hex crank as well, so we're going to swap out one thing and get a different thing. So go ahead and grab the hex crank, not the square crank. But grab the mixed item there. Where's the hex crank? There it is. We need that for the next puzzle. So mix that herb and put that away as well. Also, we're going to take out our handgun, reload it, and that will be that as well. So, yay! So now we will make our way back and continue with our sweep of this tunnel area. This is not going to lead us to the end game. Our next entry will be taking us lower. We need to get that elevator working. This is essentially an extension of the game's main goals. Normally, this is where we would probably end with the cave system, but we're not done. The cave system is a lot more elaborate and a lot more deeper. So we'll be here for a couple more minutes, I would say. Oh, my nose is itchy like hell. So we're going to go ahead. First, we'll come back for the blue herb, because we're going to have to come back through here anyway. So go in through this room where we unlocked it with the elevator. Hold on a second. I got a message I got to answer. So with that said, we will enter this hallway here, and obviously we will have another passage over here to our right. Oh, my nose is itchy every time. Now, this is obviously a dead end. There's nothing here that we're going to be taking us to, but there is a couple items in this hallway that we need to grab. More importantly, obviously, we will note that this is obviously going to require the hex crank. And this is going to require us to run, little rabbit, run. So we're going to go ahead and get this turntable going. We don't have to turn it multiple times, if you notice. It just turns it one whole time, each time we turn it. So once we've left the menu, you want to run right into the hole, because by this point, the ball, the stone, the concrete boulder will come tumbling towards us like a Temple of Jones episode. Temple of Doom episode. There you go. So once we've run out of the way, it will collide with the wall and stay stuck. Now we can head down the hall and investigate what's down the hall that was hidden behind it. Which will be a first aid box. Go ahead and take it. We're not going to open it. We got plenty enough healing items as it is, but we'll take it just for the sake of taking it. Now head into this room, which is essentially the same puzzle room where we had from the original OG version of Director's Cut. Same thing, with one little twist. We need to turn this statue. Basically, this statue is facing the opposite direction, and we need to basically put it on this turntable and turn it so that we can slide it into the existing wall. So, we're going to push this statue down now. And we're going to head over here, and using the hex crank, turn the statue, turn the stone dial so we can force this thing from the wall. Then use it again to retract stone wall. And then leaving that menu, we're going to head over here and we're going to push it. So we're going to push ourselves, or the stone statue, over here, like this. You basically just got to push it right onto the stone turntable. Do the same thing again. Push it off the stone turntable, which will again turn because of you. And that will put it in the right position. So now we want to push it over and get it in the right spot. And we want to push it again to the alcove to mirror the one over on the left. Maybe off by a couple of inches, but it may go right in just like that. So, perfect. Inside here, we will find the cylinder to go with the other part of this puzzle. This will combine this with the shaft fuse, which will get us the complete fuse for the elevator, and then we will use it. So, let's make our way back to the storage box now and get that elevator working. Take a look at your man spreadsheet to make sure there's nothing else here. We are going to grab that one remaining blue herb further down here, just for the sake of it if we do get poisoned. And that will basically be everything here we need to collect. So head on through the Black Tiger's den, and then continue through the cave entrance, making your way back to the storage unit. Notice that the The locks all are enabled or disabled depending on. It doesn't really matter where you put down the flamethrower. It basically has an interconnected system where it basically allows you to lock and unlock both those doors specifically. I think they share the same locking mechanism system. So we're gonna grab the shaft and combine them. Now, this is only half the battle, because now we have to get the password to essentially get the right code to enter, as well as the existing pieces to the elevator shaft's tool. We can't just use this. We can't just get the fuse. You have to have the code. So rotate it, and basically you want to know your Roman numeral table. So if you know your Roman numeral numbers, you know the symbolism for Roman numeral numbers. So here we have 4, 2, 3, 1. That is essentially the password that is essentially the code for the elevator to get it working. So we're gonna grab one healing item. I don't know if we need the hex crank again, but we'll take it, just to be safe. This part I am not familiar. I do not recall if we need it yet or not. I think we do need it, though. So we'll see. So we're going to head back to the we're going to head back to the elevator that will take us deeper into the cave system. So once you get here, use the fuse, and then I'll put it in. Now you want to enter the pass number, which is a series of flashing buttons. Press 1. Which button will you press? So we want to put 4. Nope, that's not right. Shit. We'll have to do it again. So try again. Be mindful of the code. Be mindful of the prompts, because they can be the buttons series can be kind of twitchy. So 4, 2, 3, 1. And power will be restored to the elevator. So once that has been established, we're going to head right back up over here to the elevator, and using the controls, we'll descend down. Now, once the elevator is descended, there will be a few things here we need to grab, and there'll be a few things here we need to do. So, obviously, this is not where we want to. This is not the current presence where we want to go. We want to go through the door going over here. So, head on through this door here, and head on in. Bear with me a moment. My messenger is blowing up, and I'm getting really annoyed by it. So, I just muted the conversation that keeps blowing my phone up. So upon entering here, you'll hear the familiar voice of Lisa, and the door opening and closing. So now Lisa is pretty much going to be down here with us, stalking us. Over here on the wall, you will find a switch. This is essentially the key point where we're going to have to basically activate to get a door gate opened up. So, but essentially what we're going to do is head through this door first. The way out of here is pretty much broken, and we need to open it up with a flamethrower. However, we don't have a flamethrower, do we? Well, we need to find something to use as a flame, to basically use it. So what we're going to do is head on into here, and we're going to climb this box here, because up here, there will be a few things we can grab. Notably, a mixed herb, not mixed herb, a magnum reload of ammo, as well as a magazine, and a stun grenade. So now we have those items, so we can get down and get down again. Now over here, we have a huge crate and we got a huge turntable. Basically, when you were working in caving and mining structures, essentially they would use turntables or some sort of an excavator to sort of quickly remove or relocate materials, rocks, or other minerals, essentially. So in this case, this looks like some sort of an elevator, sort of turntable, or a material transport unit of some sort, an elevator, a dolly, not dolly, a what the hell is that word? A gondola. That's what it is. So basically, we're going to put this box, which is going to be important to use. We're going to put it on the gondola and transport materials to the gondola, which will take us further. It'll take this down further into the cave where we need to go next. But once we get there, it'll all become clear. So this is what you want to do. Once it has arrived there, you can pretty much have free reign to move again. And we're going to head out. Now, we are going to be actually trapped down here for a little bit with Lisa. The elevator fuse has burned out, so the elevator is broken. We can't go back up. So what do we need to do? We need to basically make our way down. Now, you want to basically take either path, either or, it doesn't matter. Lisa will appear and attempt to engage you. But what you want to do is basically get away from her as fast as possible. We can't grab these herbs, obviously, it goes without saying, so what we're going to need to do is come back for those later. But this is our way out. So this little lever here will essentially, that we saw earlier, will open the path to lifting these hooks so we can put this item in question on the very place where we need to use it. So we're going to evade Lisa. We cannot kill her. We can only put her down for a few minutes. So that's essentially what we will do in order to get this door open, because we can't really do it without her, with her harassing us. So once you get out here, head over here, and you will find that the elevator is broken. So we're trapped down here. So heading over here, you'll find a storage unit here as well. Go ahead and drop off the magazine. We're also going to pick up the magnum and reload that, but we're not going to take it with us. I think we can say we really won't need the hex crank any further. So for safe, I'll put that away for now. We're going to descend the elevator deeper into the caves. Down below, the gondola will have brought this box here. Now, we're going to push it off the gondola. And we got a crusher over here. Or a hydraulic press, whatever you want to refer to it as. We're going to push this box into the press. And then using the press's mechanized hydraulics compactor, we're going to crush this box and get what's inside, which is what we need. Once the press has been used, you'll find a broken flamethrower inside. So upon getting that, we're going to head up and work on getting ourselves the hell out of here. There's nothing really else down here that essentially is of importance, with the exception of those green and red herbs that are further up. So we're going to just grab those green and red herbs, use the flamethrower, and get out of here. If you can avoid putting her down, great. Saves ammo. If you don't want to really waste time with that, a couple shots from the shotgun will put the poor girl on her ass, and then she'll be having her little tentacles coming out looking to heal her and stuff. So Lisa will be mobbing around here. We're going to go ahead and pull the lever, and that will open up the grips where we can mount this flamethrower. But before we do that, we're going to grab our resources here, green and red herb included. Don't worry about mixing them yet. We probably got about 15 seconds to get this on the thing, so go ahead and mount it. That will open up the path, and Lisa will have to say bye-bye for now. You will have to deal with her again later on anyway, so it doesn't really matter. It's amazing. This girl's like fucking Houdini. She appears out of every little place. First we encountered her outside the courtyard, now we encountered her in the caves, and then later on we'll encounter her in the lower levels. So the fire has died out, but it shows sign of use. So this is essentially where Lisa's been living too. She's probably the only person that's really alive left on the estate. Everybody else has been infected, has either been killed or died by the cause of the infection. I'm not sure if there's any files here worth grabbing. So down in this water area, you want to run down here, but you want to move because several cottonmouth snakes will appear, and they won't follow you out of the water, but they will be there. Over here, you'll find a stone chest. Grab that. A jewelry box. And then over here, I think there's something we can grab. I'm not sure. A bunch of photographs featuring our young girl depicting various scenes from her upbringing. This is essentially the last refuge Jessica and Lisa had before Umbrella found them. So this is pretty much where they've been living when they got away from them for a little while. They couldn't leave the grounds. But essentially, this is where they were living. So here we have a jewelry box. We're going to open it up, and inside we're going to find a stone ring. And then inside we'll have a family picture and notes. This is essentially George Trevor and his family, Lisa and Jessica Trevor. There's something written on the back. November 10th, 1967. Progenitor virus administered. Jessica, administered virus, type A. Plasmolizing of tissue during cell activation. Virus fusion, negative, action disposed. So Jessica was already killed long before George even escaped. They used them as test subjects. Lisa, administered virus, type B. Plasmolizing of tissue during cell activation. Virus fusion, positive, but delayed fusion. Body modification, observed. Constant results. Status, continued protective observation. George, action terminated November 30th, 1967. There is a journal left by someone. November the 14th. I feel dizzy after that shot they gave me. I don't see Mom. Where did they take her? She promised that we would escape together. Did she escape alone and leave me behind? November the 15th. I found Mom. We ate together. I was very happy, but she was a fake, not my real mom. Same face, but different inside, meaning she's infected. So she could sense, from a sensory perception, the alterations that the virus had created in her. Have to find Mom. Have to give face back to Mother. I got Mom's face back. Nobody can have my mom except me. I attach her face to me so she doesn't go anywhere. So she doesn't go away. Because Mom's sad when I meet her without her face. November 17th, 1967. I'm pretty sure. From inside box, scent of mommy. Maybe true mother there. Stone box hard. It hurt. Steel rope in the way. Can't see mother because 4 stones. So she's got her mom in a stone box, a coffin, and stones probably holding them still, I guess? Maybe? I don't know. So we're going to head up the stairs now. We got the stone ring. Now this is important because this is going to be pivotal to opening the way to the next area, or the next lab area, which is where we're going to be heading next. Up here we have a series of old water. A couple of weathered old barrels containing what looks like water. So this was essentially what they were using to stay alive in part. So grab the blue herb, mix that with the green and red herb. Grab the green herb and mix that with the 2 green herbs. You got 3 green herbs. We are doing so well in terms of health. I think probably real survival will be a real challenge, because this is not really pushing my buttons too much. So once we go ahead and get out of here, we will obviously find ourselves back in the cabin where Lisa has been staying. So we essentially see where she's able to navigate her way through the cave system very easily. So right away, we're going to go inside our inventory and we're going to get that metal object. You remember we got that from the Spencer's office area. So essentially, we're going to grab that and we're going to combine that to get the stone metal object. Now, what we need to do is get the other one that we used to open up the back door to the courtyard. Because those two items together are going to open the stairwell basement door, double doors, underneath the stairs in the main hall that you recall. So we are going to basically have to get that. We're going to take a healing item with us. And we're going to make our way back to the mansion. Now, obviously, like I said before, if you recall, there was a zombie on the trail, so we need to be mindful of that. The cemetery area where we had the crows, that will also be populated by zombies now, so we want to be careful there as well. But we're going to run right through the area and avoid that threat altogether. So immediately just deviate and just run right through the area. We're not even going to stick around. We're going to get hustling and bustling. So run. Avoid the zombies that have absolutely gotten up and moving around in the cemetery, and then we're just going to keep right on going. Wrong way. Now, upon entering the garden shed, we basically will take our leave by heading up the steps here and then back to the original area with this particular entrance. Grab the metal and stone object here to open up this area here. Now that will obviously lock the door behind us, but that's not important. We're not going back there anyway, so we're pretty much free and clear. I mean, it sucks. It would suck if it was anybody else trapped in that area because they can't get through the door. So that pretty much is a foregone conclusion in that case. So what we're going to do though is we're going to make our way back through the art puzzle room to the outside area, then through the mural painting door. We're going to make our way out to the main hall, and then in turn use those two keys to open up the next area. But before we get further ahead of that, we got to go back downstairs in the basement level and check that mystery item that we left behind there, because I definitely don't want to leave anything behind. And it could be just a magazine, but I want to grab it. I'm OCD. That's going to bother me, bro. So once we get here, head down the stairs, and then head around the corner here, down this little stairwell, in and around underneath the stairs of this building here. There's an octagonal dilations left and right of the door, so I'll use them both. 1, 2. Now that will open up that pass, but before we go through with going through there, let's check out that other area and make sure there's nothing down there we missed. We're obviously almost certainly going to have a hunt. We're almost certainly going to probably have a zombie, a crimson head running around down there. So we're going to have to just deal with them. So upon entering this hall, be on your guard. A crimson head may be active and pursuing you. There's the item right there, plain sight, plain as day, and that will conclude that piece of work. So, no crimson head. We got a magazine. Let's hit it. So now we can head right back to the main hall and descend into the underground area of the mansion, specifically. Now, I don't think there's a storage unit down here, but I could be wrong. We're going to see. So, head right through once the doors have opened. You'll find a typewriter on your left there, as well as a storage box down below. So what we're going to do is drop off our magazine, and we're going to take a healing item with us. And we're going to take the wolf and eagle medals with us. Almost 30 years, and not a single one of these light bulbs strung out through this cave has gone out. Make it make sense. I'm just taking a piss. I don't mean. I'm just making fun of it. I mean, it's just kind of ironic. And now you got all these candles lit as well. Candle wax does not burn that long, my man. Just saying. So once you get to this ladder here, we're going to descend down. And you'll find Wesker in a fight with Lisa Trevor.
Take a piece of the action.
Now, you can... It doesn't really matter if he falls or he doesn't. It doesn't really matter. Essentially, what we don't want is for Lisa to knock us off the cliff. Now, she is essentially... Now, if you recall the file, it said 4 stones are in the way. So what we want to do is one of two things. You either want to knock her off the cliff, the edge of this little crevice here, and essentially send her falling to her death. We'll never see her again. She won't die, but, you know, that's another game. But essentially, you can knock her off the edge, and she'll grab onto it, holding on. If you run up to her and shoot her a couple times, she'll fall off. But if you push the stones off, you can end the fight really fast and really early on. Oh, bitch. Chill with that shit, would you? I'm not your problem. Now, pushing the stones off will essentially open the coffin and raise the gate to get out of here. But Lisa really wanted this. She wanted her head. I feel so bad for this kid. And that will be the last we'll see of her. I mean, it's just sad. I mean, how are you going to experiment on a kid? I mean, she had to be like, what, 7, 8 years old? I mean, what the fuck? Inside, you'll find a family picture, and it's a letter. To my Lisa, day by day I could feel my consciousness drifting further away. The shots given to me by men in white clothes made some of Mommy's itching go away. Today they gave me another shot saying it was nutrition. When they give me the shots, Mommy's can't think straight, but Mommy's shocked and sad because Mommy's unable to think of you all the time. Mommy's afraid of forgetting everything, especially the memories of you and Daddy. What your faces look like, how we used to be together. They're all starting to disappear into somewhere dark in my mind. Oh, Lisa, I wish I could touch your face and hold you in my arms right now, so that I can hold on to our wonderful memories of you and Daddy. Lisa, we can't stay here any longer. We have to escape. Listen to me, Lisa. Our chance to escape is the next time when we go to that lab, that lab together. We'll both pretend we are both unconscious, and when that man in white coats is off his guard, and when the man in white clothes is off guard, that will be our chance. When we're on the outside, let's look for Daddy together. Okay, sweetie, be strong, Lisa. November 13th, 1967. They never even got the chance. So once we've dispatched that piece of work, head over here and talk to Wesker.
I'll investigate this area a little further.
And that will be the last time we talk to Wesker for a little while. So head on through, and immediately at the back, there'll be another elevator that'll take you up. Now head into this next area, a courtyard, which we will be on our map. This courtyard is inaccessible. There is a door to your left, but it's sealed, rusted shut, and it won't budge. So wherever that door leads, essentially, very well is anyone's guess. It could mean to an entirely opposite area of the mansion that we have not been able to get access to, or it could lead to well outside the mansion's grounds. But check the statue's emblems, and here you will find the eagle-shaped emblem carved into it. So use that there. And then run around and do the same thing with the other one. Much like the OG version, the wolf emblem will fit here. And then that will essentially drain the fountain, and open up the hidden path to the elevator, taking you to the underground lab. So, head to the left of the wolf emblem and then descend the stairs. And once there, board the elevator and head down. And that will bring us to the lab entrance. Look familiar? Just like the OG version. Now, as soon as we get to this point, we're going to have ink ribbons on the floor here we can grab. So as soon as we can grab them. And what we're going to do is we're going to put away our shotgun, we're going to take out our handgun. We got lots of handgun ammo to use, so we're going to use it. Go ahead and put away the ink ribbon, the healing items as well. But we're going to need the fuel canteen because we're going to have some zombies here we're going to need to get rid of. But we're going to use a ink ribbon to save our game here because we are essentially at the end game. And we don't need to get stupid and get killed and end up having to do it all over again. So save your game so that you don't get too far set back if something should happen. Hint, hint. Put that one ink ribbon aside for later, and let's get into the sin. Place does not look very sanitary for being here for 40 fucking years. Leaks and puddles everywhere. Easy headshot. Go ahead and try to burn it. If it's not dead yet, it will get up automatically. Now it should go down. What the fuck, man? Go down! Jesus! You're done! Give it up! Asshole. So essentially, once we've used that, we're gonna have this one kerosene here that will still have plenty of it. So we got a couple more bits of kerosene we can use to burn bodies. The green herbs here you can take if you want. I'm not going to take them, just in case I may need them. So we'll leave those here for pretty much for that measure. We'll go ahead and use our stun grenade for this guy. Glasses. Watch included. So wait for that grenade to detonate. You can also stand back and shoot it if you want to expunge that one little piece of ammo, and that will basically drop the zombie as well. Over here, grab the system disc, sitting over here on this burnt up table, or gurney, whatever it is. And now we're going to descend the stairs leading to the lower sanctum from B2 down to B3. I've really got to get a cushion for this chair. It's not comfortable. It makes my tailbone uncomfortable as shit. I need a gel. I need like one of those gel, cushions that, shapes to the curvature of your ass cheeks. You know what I mean? I need one of those. The fucking pain in the ass. So, obviously, we're going to go into this room here on the right. There's a first aid kit here on the ground. We'll go ahead and take that. And then we're going to basically take our way over here into this one room here, which essentially is a type of exam room now. Not a storage room, but an exam room. So there's a switch on the wall. Do we want to press it? No. What we are going to do, though, is get these X-rays and put them in the adequate order. So there's a space to put up an X-ray photograph. Over here, the researcher's letter. June 8th, 1998. My dearest Ada, by the time you read this letter, I will no longer be the person you once knew. The results of my test came out today, and as I suspected, it came out positive. I feel like I'm teetering on the edge of reason just thinking about my impending doom. I would give anything not to have to become one of them. As far as I know, you are not infected. I sincerely hope things do not reach such a desperate pass, but if it has turned out that you are, Now, the last person remaining alive, I want you to get the material from the visual data room. Then activate the self-destruct system in the power room and escape from here. Please do everything in your power to make this whole accident public. If everything is still running normally, you should be able to release all of the locks using the security system. I have set up the terminal in the small security room so that you can log in to the system using my name and your name as the password. You will need another password to release the lock of the door in the basement level 2 where the visual data room is located. As a safety measure, I have coded that password into an X-ray picture, a rotogenogram. I'm not even sure how you pronounce that. I hope I pronounced it right. I know you, and I'm sure you will be able to work it out without any trouble. There is just one more thing, and it is my last request. I hope you never have to lay eyes on me in this state, but if you do happen to run into me in my hideous form, I beg you to put me out of my misery. I hope you understand. Thank you, Ada. Yours truly, John. John Ada. So we obviously know that password. However, the password will be different in the remake. It's not going to be mole like we accounted for it, so it's going to need to be something else. So we got another X-ray, and we essentially will need to put these X-rays up in the proper format. Now, how do we know that proper format? Well, we're going to need to basically do them in alphabetical order. So we have Clark David, Alex Etchet, Ed Fisher. So Clark David will definitely need to go up here. And then the other one will also need to take a liberty of going up in the other place. There's something scrawled on the notepad. To use the electronic door, place the initials in alphabetical order. That is the indicator there in itself. So on this X-ray, it says Gail Holland. So we have Gail going up here. And let's run it again. Alex, A. Clark, C. Ed, E. And then Gail, G. So we have them in the adequate order. So now we're going to switch that light. And this is how we do the puzzle. So when we switch on the light, the color luminescence of this room will turn to this color. So here we have part of it is glowing. That would be the colon. If you know if you were in biology class or anatomy, you would know these organs by heart. So there is the colon. Then we have the esophagus. Then we have the liver. Then we have the lungs. So put those letters in alphabetical order. Colon, esophagus, liver, lungs. CELL is the fourth password. So there you have it. John, Ada, Stell. In that order. I know you are probably a bit insulted at this point that I'm treating you like an idiot, but believe me when I tell you, if you're a first-time player or if you haven't played the game for a long time, there's going to be a monumental number of challenges that many people will always struggle with, and honest to God, there's no shame in it. The fact is there are some things that players will always kind of be semi on the fence about with their performance, and there'll be some games that just really work well and others that really don't. So we've already killed one zombie with a headshot. This one has also been killed. So let's burn his body so we don't have to deal with him. And then head further along into this area here. Find the dagger on the shelf of this little cubicle over there that we obviously cannot see. Here we will have the morgue and operating room, which that will lead to this door. Essentially is the lab area, which we need the power key, which we will find upstairs in the visual data room. But we need to gain access to the visual data room. To do that, we need to access the terminal that John has prepared for Ada in this small security room here. So once you enter it, over here on the floor, you'll notice something glittering. Grab it. It's speed loader for the Magnum. Head further along in here, and there'll be a journal here as well. The V Act. Research notes. There's now evidence that when the host loses consciousness, the body goes into a dormant state. During this time, the virus becomes active and rapidly transforms and reconstructs the basic composition of the body. This is for those of you who have been following up to point with the Resident Evil's zombies turning into crimson heads, which is essentially those crazed ones like we encountered in the cemetery, as well as the one going to get the armor key. The host eventually mutates into a humanoid creature. We call them V-Acts. Its speed and amazing muscular development are particularly noteworthy. After transformation, it becomes more agile and aggressive. Already, 4 of our researchers have died from trying to feed it, turning the place into an instant bloodbath. Ever since this tragic and barbaric accident, we have decided to call its kind Crimson Heads. That dangerous and precious prototype specimen can't be left there. We have to figure out a way to deal with it. Termination is definitely not an option. We finally decided to freeze the specimen and confine the body inside the basement of the backyard cemetery. That was George Trevor, and that is the Crimson Head enemy that we've been encountering. We didn't encounter very many of them, but we encountered enough to know that they are dangerous. So before we gain access to the computer, though, in here, there will be a series of cadavers hanging here. We want to grab, we can't use that. What do we got here? A herb, a mixed 2 green herbs are way inside. So we have, obviously, to make a trip back here to grab that item. We can't grab it. We have no inventory space. But what we will do is gain access to the computer and access it. So we're going to use John. Ada. Now, using the password, we'll access B2 second floor. Oh, wrong. There we go. Cell. Second floor is now the second floor. The visual data room will open to us. Now we need to access B3 floor. Cancel and quit. So now that we've accessed that computer, the upper and lower floors of the building of this area will open to us. So we're going to leave this security room and we're going to head back up the stairs, drop off a few of these items in question. And head into the stairwell. I've got to get that new controller out. I've got to get it out. It's just going to drive me fucking crazy until I do. I mean, I'm literally holding up the controller to show. I'm not touching the fucking thing. And it's literally doing it. Oh, man, I'll tell you. I gotta breathe. I gotta use my words, that kind of shit. Otherwise, I'm gonna go stir crazy. We'll go ahead and put the system disk away, and we'll put the green herb away. I'm not even really worried about getting hurt at this point. I got more health items than God. But I mean, that's how good I am. I enjoy playing it. I enjoy because it really kind of forces me to sort of, you know, do what needs doing. God, I can't wait to play Real Survival. Real Survival is going to be really exciting for me. So once you get around here, we're going to enter the visual data room. And right away on the front table, there'll be a first aid spray. Take that. Over here in this little corner here, you'll find another system disk. And here, you'll find the laboratory map. You can't really see it, but it's there. And then I think you'll security something will be here. Security protocols. Level 1, heliport for executive use only. This restriction does not apply in the event of an emergency. Basement level 1, passage to the heliport entry is prohibited unless accompanied by a consultant researcher or the chief of security. Unauthorized persons entering the heliport will be shot on sight. Elevator, the elevator stops during emergencies. Visual data room, for use by the Special Research Division only. All other access to the visual data room must be cleared with Keith Arving, room manager. Basement level 3, Prison and Sanitation Division controls the use Prison and Sanitation Division controls the use of the prison. At least one consultant researcher, E. Smith, S. Ross, A. Wesker, must be present if viral use is authorized. Triple lock door entry into the room is limited to the sole person who deactivates the lock with all of the passcodes. Access to the exclusive output terminals located in each section of the senior researchers deactivates the lock. Power room. In the room, nitro compound is used as the primary fuel source of power. Access is limited to the headquarters supervisors. This restriction may not apply to consultant researchers with special authorization. Passcode output terminals. Use and access of the output terminals is limited to the authorized senior researcher. Basement level 4, regarding the progress of Tyrant. At the administration of the T-virus, illegible hereafter. And it would have been nice to actually be able to figure out what the rest of it said. I would have liked to have seen what the rest of it said, but we don't have that. In here, obviously, we have a few things we cannot get to right now, so we'll have to make a detour, drop off a few things here. Obviously, the first aid spray is one, the shotgun shell is another. The system disk we will take with us because we have to go downstairs and use that. We will, however, grab the shotgun for this room, for where we're going to be going next. Because it's going to require close quarters fighting, and we want a shotgun in our pocket for close quarters. So put away the first aid spray and grab the assault shotgun right there. And then grab the shells, put them away as well. So we're going to head down here. We're going to use the system disk and get it used, so that way it's out of our inventory. That's essentially what I want to do. Oh, wrong way. Duh. We got to go the other way. The security room that's around the corner from the prison area is essentially where we want to be. So upon entry here, we're going to head on through here and immediately equip your shotgun because we'll have a few zombies in here that'll be in close proximity. We want to get rid of them pronto, like. Grab the speed loader. And the slide will be there as well. But what we want to do is obviously this is a really cute thing. These are actually the Nintendo GameCube. For those of you who don't know, this is where the game originally started. Was the Nintendo GameCube until it was remastered and released to Sony PlayStation. So we're going to go ahead and use the system disk on it, which we won't get a passcode. The passcode will be sent to the prison lever right there. So there's one. Over here, we'll have a file in the form of a fax. To the Sanitation Division. Attention, Manager of Sanitation. From the Raccoon Disaster Contingency Committee. The context of this fax are confidential and intended for the named addressees only. Any copying or disclosure of the contents of this fax to any third party is strictly forbidden by the sender. After reading the contents of this fax, it must be destroyed immediately. We expect significant increase in the damage done by the recent T-virus outbreak that initially estimated. There are several concerns. First concern, more than half of the researchers have been infected by the T-virus and died. It has also been reported that almost all of the survivors of this accident are starting to show symptoms of the T-virus infection. Second concern, our secret security patrol team has also been completely eradicated. This is attributed to the Resident Evil 0 game, but we don't play Resident Evil 0 until many, many years later, which kind of filled in a lot of the unanswered questions for the events of Resident Evil 1, 2, and Survivor. And Code Veronica, I might add as well. Where was I? Been completely eradicated. Therefore, our most secret research is in danger of public disclosure. Quick actions are demanded to prevent mass media coverage. Third concern, there is a high possibility that most of the specimens are running loose inside the compound. We expect many casualties to follow. However, yet unfortunate, these casualties underscore the success of our research results. Actions must be taken to prevent our research results from being made public. We suspect the first official intervention will come from the state police and STARS. We strongly recommend taking measure against them first. So once we have dispatched the zombie here, as well as grab the items in question and use the system disk, grab the slide here, and now we can go back upstairs and gain the other items in question. So once we get up here, head into the visual data room again, and hopefully this time we won't miss anything. We couldn't really access the other items before, but essentially what we want here is this item in question. So we're going to use the filter, the film reel here, MA39, Cerberus, FI03, Neptune, MA121, Hunter, the T002, Tyrant. And then there we have good old Wesker with his butt buddies and researchers of this little entourage. Now here we have the 8462 filter. Now the reason why we had to get that filter was basically there was a barcode at the end of that, and that was essentially the point of why we needed that filter, to basically solve the number on that particular reel. So we need to enter that number into the phone here. So we need 8462, and that will open up the security room, which is sealed off. Now inside the security room, where it is pretty much controlled and monitors here, we can actually watch a very old piece of thing. Kenneth's film. It looks like you can use it to view Kenneth's film. So we will see Kenneth's last moments with this film. So if you're easily squeamish or easily scared, don't watch. 3-second warning.
What? Get away from me! No! Hey! No!
So pretty much, it's pretty evident in the bio. If you read the book, and you look up the bio of Resident Evil on the internet with Wikipedia, you could pretty much establish that Kenneth was actually a very bad shot. He was a chemist, and he was a scout, but he was an absolute garbage shooter. Don't ask me how the hell he got brought on with STARS because I mean you would think that STARS is like the equivalent of like SWAT. So you essentially would think that they don't want to have somebody who can't hit who couldn't hit the floor if he fell on it. But for whatever reason, he got hired. Very perplexing. So, come on, this fucking thing. I'm gonna lose my mind with it. After that, we're gonna grab the power laboratory key, which is what we need here. So we're gonna head out of this room now and make our way down to the lab area. I remember the first time I saw that, and I was young, and I got very unnerved by that. That was just, I mean, hearing his, and then of course you could hear the zombie like, you know, like the imminent attack of just devouring him, and then like it just happens, like right on the spot. I mean, but he fired off like at least 5 shots, and you missed every fucking shot. I mean, I don't have an answer for that. I mean, I'm about as confused as the next person probably would be in that instance. So once we've used the lab key, we can use the lab key on the other door as well. But we want to go into here, and I think we can use it on this door. Can we? Nope, it's rusted shut. We can't access that door. But we can access the other door when we go back. But we essentially really want to basically get these guys taken care of. Now, the whole purpose I want to do that, and this is a nice trick, and I want to show you this. I did that for a reason. Because in the event when you're playing harder difficulties, you can actually double up and save yourself some kerosene. Now, typically, you would use 1 kerosene to burn a zombie body. But if you get them in enough pile, you can burn more than 1 body at one time. And that is essentially what we will get with destroying 2 zombies at one time. If you get them in a tight little pile and you kill them in the same spot, you can burn both those bodies. Hell, you can burn 3 bodies in one spot with 1 kerosene, which is perfect. So, nice little tactic if you're playing this game in harder difficulty later on, because that's what I'm going to be doing. So once we get here, we're going to go ahead and drop off our magnum bullets. And we're going to drop off the kerosene, because we're not going to really need that much longer. But we will need the first aid spray. Not really. Dozens of claw marks. So this place was pretty much ransacked by hunters, perhaps. Grab the shotgun shells here on the floor. And obviously you got the ink ribbons here you can grab as well if you so want to. At this point, we're not going to really worry about having our handgun much further, because essentially we got so much in the way of firepower at this point, we really are kind of swimming in it. So we're going to go ahead and grab the shotgun shells and the lab key. And we'll take 1 system disk with us. And what we're going to do is essentially we're going to go back out the way we came. I wanted to use the lab key to gain access to the storage room. That's the only reason I used it. Because what we really want to do is, we can't really access this room here. This is essentially the morgue. We can't access that. So what we need to do is get another alternative route into the morgue and the operating room to get those other system disks used. So we're going to open this door here with the lab key, and then we will dispose of it, no longer needing it. Kind of ironic that they switched it. Initially, this door was locked from the other side. And then here, we will find ourselves in here. Now, we will be attacked by chimeras. Now, if you don't remember the chimeras from Director's Cut, those fly insectoid-looking humans. They're not zombies, per se, but they're basically what you would get if you crossed a human with the fly. Jeff Goldblum, look out. They're taking your job. We're going to climb up here inside this shaft here, and we will drop down here. Shoot the son of a bitch if he actually manages to try to get away. Take him down before he can. This is obviously the operating room. So the minute you kill that little bastard, he will be disintegrating all over the place. Blow his head off, and that will drop him. It's kind of cool to watch him disintegrate. Watch. He just starts to liquefy and break apart. And then basically maggots and everything will start to just appear. And that'll basically be it. Really kind of cool to look at that. And then as it appears, it just basically fades away like it was never there. Now, there will be nothing in this room. What we want to do is get through this shaft here, which will take us into the morgue. Now, in here, the morgue, we will find a stun grenade and also another security system passcode terminal. So we'll use the system disk we have to send another code. And then what you want to do is push this shelf again out of the way, so it's not blocking us in. And now we'll be able to make our way out. It's basically musical ductwork. You know, musical chairs, musical ductwork. You basically use whatever duct takes you to where you need to go. There's no real fixed way of getting around. It's just basically that. So now we're going to head to the power room and get the power reestablished for the elevator so that we can get to the lower basement 4 area, which is our destination, obviously. And here you will be beset by... Oh, now this is cool. Watch this. He puts the grenade in his mouth and then basically just lets him go. But he will be pretty much have the grenade in his mouth, but he'll blow up. That is so cool. I love it. It was worth taking a little bit of hurt for that because I want to get that shot. But his head will explode, and that will effectively put that monster down. So here we have to get the fuel. Now, if you recall from the file, it said that they used nitro for their fuel source to fuel their power on the building. So the fuel may explode if shaken or jarred. Refueling device, it's not working right now because there is no fuel. There is an empty capsule. Now, this part can be a bit irritating for some people, but it is a pain in the ass, but it is necessary. Once you get the fuel, it is imperative that you walk back. If you run, you will die. The fuel in this capsule is explosive compound, so if you run too much, you will die. There is no too much. You shouldn't run at all. It's also important you don't take damage either, because that too will also blow it up along with you, and you will die as well. There as well. So you want to have the greatest amount of care when you're taking this back to the building. We're going to go ahead and take the Magnum with us as a precautionary measure. And we're going to get save file, and we're going to save our game. So do that, save your game, just in case we get killed. We don't really have any threats in the area, but my concern is coming back with it, and there's chimeras in the area. So obviously we're going to have to enter that room again, and obviously there's going to be chimeras in and out of vents. There's no guarantee that one of them may not appear and decide to chase your ass down and take a swipe at you. So you have no problem fighting back. Fighting back is not an issue, but you cannot run and you cannot get hit. If you get hit or you run, you will blow up and you will die, and it's game over. So get used to it. So we don't have any fuel in it now, so we can run at our heart's content. But we are going to take that means to get in here and go get that one healing item in the morgue area that we essentially left behind. There's a stun grenade as well, so you got to grab that. And there is the healing item we have in question. Let's open it up and see what's inside. There was a green herb inside, so we're going to go ahead and use that because we got hurt a little bit from that grenade blast earlier, so that's fine. We'll use that. And we will head right into the next area. Now, where's the fueling station? Well, ironically, we were actually there a little while ago. So, it's basically going to be in the security room where we used our first system disk. It was actually just shy behind us on the left as we were turning around to read that fax. So, head on down over here. Matter of fact, we're going to unequip our weapon. It'll be faster walking speed. Oh, for whatever reason, my nose is itching like crazy. It's driving me nuts. So heading into here, over here will be the fueling station. This is where you will get the fuel. Open it. Set the capsule. And it will be refueled. The main ingredient of the fuel appears to be nitro compound. Running could result in a fatal explosion, so do not fucking run. But we will have our magnum equipped in the event we get surprise attacked by a threat like Chimera. No zombies are in the area. We've dispatched most of them, so they won't be a problem. We will need to stop by the save room, though, and grab the other system disk, because we have one more system disk to use. So grab the other system disk and take that with you. Then make your way out, and then head straight for the generator, the power room. So weird. I keep calling it the power room, but it just comes off so much like a boiler. It just got that resonance of being a boiler room more than a power room. So once we get here, put the fuel supply capsule inside it, and that will give power to the area. Now we do not have to worry about getting dead from an explosive mineral in our possession. Get your magnum ready, and let's hunt for some Chimera. Because now we need to go in deeper into the power room and establish power to the elevator. I gotta say, there's something incredibly satisfying about blowing monsters away with a magnum. Every time. Always has been, always will be. Now, that's another thing I want to stress. When you're actually engaging the Chimera, you don't want to shoot them right away. You want to wait for them to charge you and then begin the animation of bringing their claw down to strike you. If you shoot them before then, their body will still carry through with the animation, even though they have no fucking head, and they'll still hit you. But if you do it when they're just ready to bring that hammer down, the force of the shot will knock them back, and then the animation won't carry through. You'll protect yourself, and you'll kill them at the same time. If you do it too soon, they'll still get the attack on you. If you do it too late, well, you'll get hit, and, well, that's your own fault. So that will conclude all the system discs being used. And now we'll head on through. And that's another Chimera tried to sneak up on us. You'll find yourself getting ambushed a lot by Chimeras in this area. Over here will be a stun grenade. You got a lot of stun grenades with Chris. How many is that now? 4 or 5? That's 5. Wow. That's crazy, bro. So upon getting through that section, we're going to head directly into the back area. This will have the elevator circuit as well as the activation triggering system for the self-destruct device. They also have a tendency to change their posture so they can go low to the ground and scurry like bugs. Asshole. That will be the self-destruct mechanism there. So that essentially will conclude our process with this particular area and any other threats that may be relegated to this in this section. So just head on out. Now you can choose one or two things to do here. You can continue to the elevator and proceed to the B4 area, or you can go about to the prison and find Jill, which is where we will find her eventually. So go ahead and use the healing item. Let's go check out Jill. We're going to do that first. Now, obviously, like before, Director's Cut features 3 or 4. Let me think. So yeah, 4 endings per each character, traditionally, based on what you decide to do. There is the traditional best ending, which is you basically rescuing Rebecca and Jill and getting out. There is the second best ending, which is traditionally you and Rebecca getting out. The third best ending, which is basically just you and Jill getting out. Or the very, very, very worst ending, which is just you getting out, leaving Jill and Rebecca behind. And the same applies with Jill as well. Chris and Jill, Jill and Barry, Jill and Chris, or just Jill. So once you've pulled all the levers down to open up the path, we basically can head down the steps here to this prison, which takes us to a basement 4-level kind of stairwell area. Kinda, sorta, not really, but it's pretty close. But regardless, head down here, you'll find the camera is destroyed, but Jill is here, imprisoned,
Chris?
and unarmed.
Jill.
Chris, Wesker's the...
I know. I can't open it. Just wait, I'll be back.
Okay.
So obviously, the only way we can get the door open to Jill is by having the triggering system activated, which essentially will open up all the doors throughout the facility to expedite evacuation procedures. So essentially, we need to get that pretty much taken care of. So our only main goal now is to get to Wesker, who is pretty much well and truly ahead of us. But I am curious how the hell he managed to get down into the elevator when there was no power to the elevator to begin with. But that's where we find him, unless he disabled the power, and then he got down there, and then he disabled the power, but he still would have to leave. So I don't know. Maybe he was basically waiting for us to get there. Always a very confusing element to the game's continuing arc. But that is essentially what we got, so... We're going to equip our Magnum, and let's grab a healing item. I don't think we'll... No, we won't even need the healing item. Who the fuck am I kidding? This asshole tyrant isn't going to get any hits on us whatsoever. So grab the switch, press the switch, and that will activate the elevator, at which point we will get a cutscene of...
Chris!
Rebecca finally joining us.
I saw you in the inner garden. I finally caught up.
Well, I'm glad you're okay. No more following. Just stay with me, kid.
That's my plan, sir.
So as soon as we get down here, on the left, notice right away on the floor is going to be some shotgun shells. Go ahead and grab those. And reload your shotgun fully in the event we need to use it and we run out of Magnum bullets. But again, who are we kidding? So once you get through this little corridor here, and head into the lab, you'll find this cutscene.
Wesker.
So you've come. Chris, you make me proud. But of course you are one of my men.
Thanks. Since when, Wesker?
I'm afraid I don't know what you're talking about.
Since when have they been slipping you a paycheck?
I think you're a bit confused. I've always been with Umbrella. And stars were umbrellas. No, rather, my little piggies. The Tyrant virus leaked, polluting this whole place, and unfortunately, I had to give up my lovely members of Stars.
You killed them with your own dirty hands! You son of a bitch!
No.
Oh yes, dear. Just like this.
Rebecca!
Don't move!
You...
I don't think you want to die just yet. I have something that's of some interest to you.
I'm not gonna lie. He was a badass.
The ultimate life form. Tyrant.
Wesker, you've become senile.
Chris, you'll never understand. It's magnificent.
Come on, you test tube freak.
So as soon as the fight starts, immediately run past him, return fire on the tyrant with 4 shots from your magnum, reload. And 4 shots will be, and the 5 shots will all it'll take to really drop them. Back over here, there'll be a panel to release the emergency lock of the room, so release the lock. And then we're going to make our way back over past his body to Wesker's body. Now, the thing I want to stress is that it was very intricately purposeful why Wesker did that. I'm not going to give any spoilers, but we'll find out much, much, much more later in future games. What a pathetic way to die. He's holding something. Observation note. The discovery of the G virus was in fact 21 years after the administration of the progenitor virus. The prototype parasite which we had delivered from a laboratory in France was administered to the sample specimen. They're referring to Lisa Trevor. The sample specimen took in the parasite without any signs of adverse reaction. The parasite was the Nemesis Alpha parasite. Essentially, this will tie into the future 2 games that will be upcoming when we complete this one, Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 3 Nemesis. So, the lack of any reaction was an unsolved mystery, but now everything is clear to me now. The prototype parasite was incubating in the sample specimen's body for 21 years. Then, from that incubating state, the prototype suddenly mutated. Evolved may be a more appropriate way to describe it. This observation gave me more insight in my research. Through further modification and testing, I was able to derive a method to create the G that surpasses the performance of the T. This was the breakthrough that would change the future of BOW's history. I can't wait to see the look on Alexia's annoying face when I finally announce my research, but unfortunately I'll have to wait a few more years to completely verify my findings. William Birkin. Those 2 names are going to be synonymously important for the future games that we're going to play, namely Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil Code Veronica. Now, once we've dealt with that piece of work, head over here and check on Rebecca. And you will find she's alive from the bulletproof vest.
Rebecca!
Chris.
It's a good thing you were wearing your bulletproof vest. There's nothing left for us to do here. Let's get moving.
Okay.
So once we've gotten rid of Wesker's little pet project and I wouldn't say saved, but helped Rebecca to her feet, head on out of here. It doesn't really matter if you helped her out or not. The minute you go to leave, she'll surprise you and be like, Chris! I'll be like, you're Rebecca, you're alive. Your bulletproof vest did the job, blah, blah, blah. So essentially, you probably would have, gotten the same result regardless. So board the elevator, and that is when Rebecca will decide that, yeah, let's go trigger the system and blow this place up.
Chris?
What is it?
I found a file in the lab. Apparently, there's still.
You were unconscious. Where did you find the file?
We should blow this whole place up.
Right. The show must go on. I'll leave that up to you, Rebecca.
I'm on it. I'll start the self-destruct system I found a little while ago.
It's not like we're out of this yet. I'll see you on the outside.
Outside.
So upon doing that piece of work, we're going to head out, and immediately the alarms will be blaring as the bomb will be set off.
Self-destruct system has been activated. All personnel must evacuate immediately. Deactivating and releasing all locks.
So let's go get Jill, and then we'll get topside.
Self-destruct system activated. All personnel must evacuate immediately. Deactivating and releasing all locks. The self-destruct system has been activated. All personnel must evacuate immediately. Deactivating and releasing all locks. The self-destruct system has been activated.
Jill, sorry I made you wait.
I knew you'd come.
Let's get out of here.
Now, if you go back in the room, you'll have a very bizarre camera angle of the camera. Basically, the camera will serve as the viewpoint of the room. So essentially, you have this camera feed here, but heading over here, you'll effectively find the shotgun shells here on the floor that were with Jill the minute she was put in here. So, but head back out and then make your way up the stairs and out of the prison area.
Self-destruct system has been activated. All personnel must evacuate immediately. Deactivating and releasing all locks.
Let's get going!
Self-destruct system has been activated. All personnel must evacuate immediately. Deactivating and releasing all locks. The self-destruct system has been activated. Evacuate immediately. Deactivating and releasing all locks.
Won't even need to worry about the green herbs. The hell with them. We're at the home stretch. You can grab them if you want to. I don't always grab them because, I mean, look at our health. We got tons of health. We got tons of healing items. So here we're going to have the option of putting up a few things. So we're going to definitely drop off the Magnum. We could very well take it with us, but we really don't need it. Grab the shotgun shells. And then grab whatever healing items you can.
The self-destruct system has been activated.
We're not going to need very many.
All personnel must evacuate immediately. Deactivating and releasing all locks.
And then head up the ladder.
The self-destruct system
The helipad's doors will be open and available for access. You'll have a few items on the path here. Shotgun shells on the left, as well as a healing item on the right. This will continue to be pretty expansive of getting yourself whatever bare and essential items you need leading up to the fight. Go ahead and use it, and just because we got hurt a little bit earlier dealing with the Chimera.
Running out of fuel. This is your last chance. If there's anyone alive, give me a sign. I repeat, this is your last chance.
So, running through here, Jill will be right on your tail, keeping up with you. But grab the fuse right here in the center of the path, which will enable you to access power and get it to the elevator. And that's it.
3 minutes to detonation.
The self-destruct system's activated.
Good work. Brad's up in the helicopter.
Those things are coming.
I'll take care of them.
But,
Chris, you just get in contact with Brad somehow.
okay.
Now, the only thing I would have done differently with the game, if I was a designer, is I would have had gunfire behind them as they run down the hall. You could just bang, 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 and then an animal cry as the door opens. So you know they're busy fighting them fuckers. I mean, they're throwing down. They're taking care of business. And then you gotta literally leave them behind. So it's like bang, 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 bang. Then like you hear like an animal, like a zombie cry or a hunter scream. I know that was a hunter we heard. So essentially that would be the only thing I would have done differently. Other than that was actually pretty solid. So So as soon as we get this signal rocket, we're going to take it, use it, and then we'll get a cutscene of him setting it off, and that will be it. Or will it? The signal rocket will launch. The sun is obviously coming up, so thankfully it's just in time where they're going to get breakfast. But here comes Jill and Rebecca.
You okay?
Yeah.
And here comes Tyrant. Now, Tyrant will knock Jill unconscious, and Rebecca and you will be fighting Tyrant. It's imperative that Rebecca does not get killed here. You can get her, she can die unnecessarily. So, she cannot reload her weapon, so we want to get his attention. Get his attention. He will pick Rebecca up in certain instances, so basically, like that, if you don't finish him, his arm will shake, like he's getting ready to finish him, but luckily for me, I got some stun grenades. That'll knock him on his knee, blow out his knee, and he'll fall to his knees. So essentially what we want to do now is get his attention.
Chris, use it! Kill it, whatever it is!
Grab the rocket launcher. Now, typically, the only time you can really get him is if you are, like, literally got him looking the other way. Oh, that got me. That hurt. Throws his claw and he just gets my blood all over the floor. Now, if you don't do it at the right time, he'll basically take his claw and smack it away. So you want to do it at the right time. The best time is usually when he's either committing an animation or he's distracted. That's the best time you want to do it. But that's it. We did it. Normal difficulty with Chris. Done. And then we will have the residence, the courtyard, the mansion, and it'll go boom. And then we have the best ending. Jill will be exhausted. And Rebecca, she'll be passed out too. Guy's been going non-stop. How the fuck are you two tired? He hadn't missed a beat. The closest thing he had to a nap was when he got poisoned by the snake and Rebecca had to save his bacon. And that will conclude our playthrough of the Resident Evil 1 remake. The remake of the 1998 classic of Resident Evil. Well, not 98, 96. I keep forgetting that's when the whole series started, was in the timeline of 98. So, technically, 96. The remake of the 96 classic Resident Evil. I do love the classics, the OG versions of the game. They're my favorite, top to bottom. But the remake has to be one of my most favorite because it really kind of holds true to the core components of a genuine horror element game. Essentially, that equivocally accounts for a number of factors. Music, atmosphere, motion capture, gameplay elements, and just the overall tone and tension that you would find in most genuine article state, by the book, textbook examples of genuine zombie games or zombie films. There's so many instances of this that kind of emulate a lot of George Romero's work. And I think that's probably the emphasis of what makes it so popular. We're still playing it fucking 20 years later. How do you not love a game like that? It's impossible to not love a game like that. I would put this game in the top 10, if not the top 5, personally, because of the fact that it has such an elemental presence in that regard. So, I highly recommend it to anyone. If you have a PlayStation game, If you have a PlayStation, if you have a Nintendo GameCube, if you are a Resident Evil fan by any means, this fucking game should be in your lineup, because this is
Chris, you
top to
did a fine
bottom an
job.
awesome game. So we used 13 health items, we used 11 ink ribbons, we used 328 ammo, we killed 98 monsters, not 100, and it took us a whole about 7 hours and 11 minutes. Just for one game, 7 hours. And that's if we took our time walking, even more so than we already did. So I do like the fact that they included, usually the only thing they include is the number of time you took, ink ribbons you used, and health items you used, but they never included the ammo, and they never included creatures dispatched. So that is a nice touch. I'm definitely pleased with that. I'm definitely gonna have fun with that in the future. So yeah, worth it. Totally worth it. And I have no regrets enjoying it to the fullest extent in that regard. So, but that was Chris's story, and that is pretty much where we are going to pull the plug on this little party. The next time I play, I will be pursuing the standard difficulty run of Jill Valentine, the second antagonist that basically was a part of this entire ordeal. She will work in tandem with Barry Burton to mirror the contrast of Chris Redfield and Rebecca Chambers. There are certain elements, like I said, that will be very different with Jill that essentially we will not have with Chris. Number one, the most important one is Chris has 6 pockets, Jill will have 8 pockets. Jill will have the lockpick to essentially open doors with simple locks. However, she will not have the lighter. In order to burn bodies, you will have to carry the kerosene and the lighter. Specifically, the lighter that George Trevor lost, we will find. And it will be used by Jill to basically burn bodies and solve puzzles where needing a lighter is relevantly important. Different kind of gameplay mechanics will alter with her playstyle, though. She will be able to use the V-Jolt formula to kill Plant 42. Certain instances, Barry will save her neck. Other instances of gameplay elements will be slightly altered, but if there are alternative approaches to exploring them, I have not discovered them yet. I think I will probably explore and experiment a bit more with that in the latter time. But for the foreseeable future, we'll stick with the just straightforward playthrough of Jill with her standard difficulty, and we'll just see where the story takes us. Essentially, the biggest thing we're going to be going for, though, is the best ending, in which case Chris, Jill, and Barry will escape together. And then after that, I'll see about getting myself situated for a real survival. Now, real survival, as I said, will be the hardest game mode you could probably hope to encounter. Hard difficulty in once again mode is essentially basically the emphasis of that. But here we have it, now playing with features from the prototype version. Real survival mode unlocked. Item boxes are no longer connected, meaning the items can only be taken from the box where they were stored. Also, weapon aiming is manual, so we don't have the auto aim feature. We need to aim the weapon appropriately with our natural orientation. Experience these prototype-only features unavailable in the original Resident Evil gameplay. This is essentially not in the original Resident Evil from Director's Cut, or the original of 1996 release. We also have the closet key, so we can change our closet now. Now, we will have 2 costumes with Chris. One costume will be his typical leather jacket look, like we encountered in the previous Director's Cut, and the second one will be an alternative costume from Resident Evil Code Veronica, which is an alternate STARS uniform not yet seen by you. That is what he will wear. Jill will have her traditional Resident Evil STARS outfit, her Resident Evil 3 outfit, which I will not spoil, and also a militarized Sarah Connor look, similar and mirroring that of Linda Hamilton's Sarah Connor character from the film Terminator 2: Judgment Day. And that will be it for that particular game. So let's go ahead and save it. And that will put us in clear data format right there on the spot. Now, there is another thing I will point out to you once this menu clears. Transferring data, please wait. Bear one moment. Now, this new thing you will notice here right away, obviously, is once again. Now, once again, essentially, is a difficulty mode which enables you to basically play the same game, but you can switch characters. Now, there's one thing I will stress: there are four modes here. Very easy is obviously the we want to walk through the woods question. Easy is basically the hike. You want a little challenge, but nothing too strenuous. Normal is you want an extremely hard challenge you get what I mean. That's essentially what this is. Now we've unlocked hard mode. Now hard mode is a little bit harder, but with real survival, the item boxes are not equipped. Hard mode, the item boxes are equipped. So if you don't want to try hard, if you don't want to try real survival yet, I recommend trying hard mode first to see if you can get yourself acclimated for real survival. Because, like I said, real survival isn't for anybody. Hard is challenging in itself, but real survival raises the stakes with the item boxes be unlinked. So you'll have to be very, very strategic, very careful with what you can and cannot take with you. So just bear that in mind. Also, if you complete the game on once again mode with both Chris and Jill, you will unlock one dangerous zombie. This essentially makes Forrest, the zombie on the balcony that we encountered earlier as Chris, that was pecked to death by crows that turned into a zombie. He will be fitted with a vest peppered with grenades. If you do damage to him, you die because he will blow up and he'll blow up you with him. If you get bitten by him, he will blow up and kill you with him. So I am not particularly fond of one dangerous zombie mode because essentially he follows you everywhere. You could be in the lab and he'll follow you to the goddamn lab and harass you there. So the best thing I can recommend, make separate saves. It's a real pain in the ass. It's not fun. I don't like it. But in some instances, if that's what you want to go for, be my guest. But that is all I'm going to have for you guys here. Here we have the gallery where we basically have Chris's ending and then followed by these other endings, which we could essentially get. Chris's ending 5, Chris's ending 6. These are basically endings that essentially you will get far removed from anything that we essentially could hope to get. So let's take a quick look at them first. Now, this is obviously Chris's first ending. This is his first ending here. Got a couple minutes, so we'll take a look at these endings real quick. And that essentially is basically the best ending you're going to get. The other ending equivocal to that is going to be Chris's 5 ending and Chris's 6 ending. So Chris's 5 ending, I believe, is just Jill and Chris getting out after killing Tyrant. This would include you not saving Rebecca. So if Rebecca is killed in the game, this is essentially the ending you will get. The mansion will not be destroyed. It will be pretty much left as is. Without Rebecca to set off the self-destruct system, they will fly away. The mansion will be left intact. And the tyrant will be alive and free roaming the entire forest of Arklay Mountains. And then this essentially is going to be bringing us to Chris's 6th ending, which basically is the result of what happens if you don't save Rebecca and you don't save Jill and you manage to get out on your own. The mansion will not be destroyed. The tyrant will be alive and well, roaming the entire forest, and that will basically be the 6th ending, the worst ending you could hope to get. That is the worst ending you could get in the game. With the tyrant free and roaming the woods. So, and then obviously we have these endings here, which will equivocally include Jill, but those we will not do until we've completed more things. I think ultimately that is probably the best you can hope for in that capacity. So these other endings I will not really spoil until we've gotten those other ones well and truly in hand. So we got 3 endings with Chris to unlock, and then we've got 2 endings with Jill to unlock. So I will have my work cut out for me in the future. But that's all I got for you right now, guys. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Thank you very much. Subscribe, like this video. It really would help me out. Turn the notification bell on and your notifications to see when I tune in next time in terms of live streaming. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, advice, lore, or tips, leave them in the comment section and help us all. In fact, give me some insight if you have anything that you would like me to sort of pick up in terms of consideration. And that is going to take it all from there. This is going to conclude our live stream playthrough of Chris on normal difficulty with Resident Evil Remake. I am Savage Squishy 86, and I will catch you next time with our continuing live stream coverage when we pick up Jill Valentine on her normal playthrough with the continuing coverage of live stream playthrough of Resident Evil the Remake. And I will see you guys next time.